The front end of an audio system sets the tone for everything that follows, and that's exactly where the new Eversolo T8 comes in. Unlike Eversolo's super popular A6, A8, or A10 all-in-one streamer DACs, the T8 is a dedicated streaming transport. That means it doesn't include a DAC inside and instead passes the digital signal to an external DAC of your choice. Its only job is to deliver a clean, precisely timed digital stream so that your DAC and speakers can perform at their full potential. Now in audio, the old saying, garbage in, garbage out still applies here. If the source introduces noise or timing errors, even the best DACs and amplifiers can't fully make up for it. The T8 was designed to prevent that, keeping the signal as pure as possible so that the rest of your system can do its best work. Now at Audio Advice, we've partnered with Eversolo ahead of every major release, and we're proud to be the largest Eversolo seller in the United States. And time after time, we've been impressed by their ability to combine simple streaming with serious sound quality at a great price, and we're really excited about the new T8. If you want to be among the first to get yours and support us in making videos just like these, you can order right now from audioadvice.com. I'll leave a link down below. Okay, so like I said, the T8 is what's called a streaming transport, which means it only handles the streaming and user interface tasks like pulling music from Tidal or Qobuz, your NAS, or local storage, but it doesn't perform the digital to analog conversion. There are no analog outputs on the back, only digital. Instead, it passes a pure, precisely timed signal to your DAC. Now, that could be a standalone DAC, or it could be the DAC that's already built into an integrated amplifier, or even a home theater processor or receiver. By leaving out the DAC stage, Eversolo could focus entirely on low noise power, precise clocking and isolated outputs, and a polished control experience. Now, a DAC, or a digital to analog converter, is the component that turns the digital stream into the analog signal that your amplifier and speakers need so you can listen to your music. The benefit of keeping the DAC separate is flexibility. If you already own one that you love, the T8 will feed it a clean signal. And if you enjoy experimenting, you can swap DACs over time to change the character of your system without replacing the streaming front end. Now, this also creates a clear upgrade path. As you improve your DAC, your amplifier, or other components, the T8 remains the steady digital source at the heart of your setup. And for home theater owners, it also serves as a modern, stable streaming brain that integrates cleanly into a processor or AVR in your home theater. So on the outside, the T8 looks like a typical modern Eversolo component, coming in at about 12.4 inches wide, 9.1 inches deep, and 3.5 inches tall, making it compact enough to fit easily in most racks or media consoles. On the front, it has a 6-inch touchscreen with a glass panel all the way across the front, which I think looks really great. It also has a few capacitive touch controls on it, and the chassis is solid aluminum with a black finish. The display itself is super bright and responsive, making it easy to navigate menus, view album art, or switch to meters and spectrum views with a simple touch. But it's what's inside where the real work shows here. The power supply is a true linear design built around a custom toroidal transformer wound with high purity copper and wired with Teflon insulation. The regulation and filtering stages are overbuilt for this category, dropping the noise floor to as low as 30 microvolts, which you notice as deep silence behind quiet passages. Next, clocking is handled by an ultra-precise femtosecond master clock. This is important here because even the smallest drift in a clock signal can cause tiny timing errors between samples, which impact the audio quality. The more accurate the timing you have, the much more alive and true to life your music sounds, as if you're actually right there in the live performance. Plus, the T8 also has the horsepower to keep everything responsive, built on a quad-core ARM processor with 4 GB of DDR memory and 64 GB of internal eMMC storage. Now, in our stress testing, the interface was super quick, track scrubbing was instant, and the whole system felt snappy even with a large local library loaded on here. Now on the rear, the T8 covers pretty much every major digital output that you might need. The USB audio port is galvanically isolated to keep noise out while sending bit-perfect PCM and DSD to a modern DAC. I2S over HDMI is also available for those who prefer its direct path, with 8 selectable modes to ensure compatibility with a wide range of converters. AES EBU on XLR provides a fully balanced, isolated connection that resists interference and works especially well for long runs into DACs, integrated amplifiers, or processors. And coaxial and optical round out the options, with coaxial supporting up to 24-bit 192 kHz and featuring full isolation for reduced crosstalk, while optical remains a dependable choice that fits seamlessly into many home theater setups. Plus, you also get 12-volt triggers to support their Wake on LAN feature, so your unit can power up with the rest of your gear. But the important part isn't simply having all all of those outputs. It's how well that they are isolated. Each output is designed to break ground loops and keep switching noise off the data line. That means the differences you hear come from your DAC's preferred interface, not from the transport adding unwanted flavor. Now, great transports also rely on stable networks, and the T8 gives you several ways to connect. The gigabit Ethernet port is probably the most standard choice for most setups and ensures reliable low latency playback. But what really sets the T8 apart at this price is the inclusion of an SFP fiber socket. When paired with compatible modules and a fiber capable switch, it completely breaks the electrical link to your network, cutting down noise and interference that can creep in through copper connections. This level of isolation is usually found only on far more expensive streamers, and it can make a noticeable difference in racks crowded with gear and routers. Now, Wi-Fi 6 is also built in for convenience when running a wire is not practical, though for the very best performance, we always recommend a wired connection. Now, when you flip the T8 over, you'll find dual M.2 SSD bays where you can install up to 16 terabytes across both slots to keep a massive local library inside the transport. There are also USB ports on the rear for connecting external drives, giving you flexibility if you prefer simple plug-and-play storage. The T8 can also pull from NAS drives and popular cloud platforms like Dropbox, Plex, and many more. Now, one of the other things that we love about Eversolo units is their ease of use when it comes to playback. You can choose full screen album art, classic view meters, or a spectrum analyzer, and you can dim all the lighting if you're listening in a dark environment. Now, the layout is customizable, so you can set favorites, adjust the home screen, and even decide how album art appears while music plays. And you're not limited to the front panel only. The Eversolo Control app for iOS and Android is pretty fast, and it mirrors the same clean interface. It's easy to navigate, lets you sign into your streaming platforms directly, and has a universal search that scans across all your services and your local library all at once. You can even make a playlist from different streaming services and your local library, which is really cool. Scrubbing through tracks happens really instantly in the app. There's gapless playback, and it works as expected, and the sample rate changes happen silently in the background. In daily use, we found ourselves reaching for the app most often simply because it just made this whole system feel effortless. But another clever feature is the screencasting. The T8 can mirror its display to your phone or your tablet, giving you full interactive control. Just cast the screen, open the app on the T8, and navigate it remotely as if you were standing right in front of the unit using the screen on the front. And when it comes to streaming support, the T8 is Rune ready, works with Tidal Connect, Qobuz Connect, Spotify Connect, and AirPlay 2, and there's a ton of major streaming service apps that you can download natively right on the unit itself. So you can cast directly from your preferred streaming services app or keep everything unified inside the Eversolo's interface in their app if that's what you prefer. There's also an included remote with a metal backplate that feels really solid and has responsive buttons if you prefer the remote option. Okay, so even though the T8 is digital only, it still includes EvoTune, which is a FIR-based correction system that measures your space and applies time and frequency corrections to tame peaks, tighten bass, and steady imaging. You can use Eversolo's mic or even the mic right on your phone. And for manual tweaking, there's a 10-band parametric EQ, and you can also import custom FIR filters if you've built your own curve. There's also loudness compensation and dynamic range control, which help with late night sessions as well. We found it useful to save a few presets for listening at night versus listening in the day, which is a cool feature on here. Now, looking ahead, Eversolo has already previewed its upcoming Z10 DAC, depending on when you're watching this video, and that's designed as the natural partner to the T8. The Z10 is going to be positioned as their flagship digital to analog converter with dual mono architecture, triple toroidal transformers, oven-controlled crystal oscillators, and full support for the latest PCM and DSD formats. Together, the T8 and Z10 are going to form a true two-box front end built for serious audiophiles who want control, precision, and uncompromising performance. Now, be sure you're subscribed to see the review of the Z10 when it's released, and if it's already out, we'll have the links down below. Now, a good transport doesn't try to add its own flavor. That's exactly what the T8 delivers. It keeps noise out, holds timing steady, and lets the DAC define the sound. The result is music that feels natural and effortless with imaging that stays locked in place, cymbals that carry air without turning brittle, guitars that bite without glare, and bass that delivers both pitch and weight. The background stays quiet so dynamics rise and fall with ease. Now, the different outputs can also sort of shape the feel of your entire system. Many DACs respond a little differently depending on whether they're being fed USB, I2S, AES, EBU, coaxial, or optical. And because each output on the T8 is fully isolated, what you hear is your DAC and interface doing the work, not the noise creeping in from the T8 transport. So for many hobbyists, experimenting with those options is some part of the fun here. Now overall, Eversolo keeps improving and they listen to feedback, and the T8 proves what happens when a company stays focused on sound in real world use. Now if you have a DAC that you already love, the Eversolo T8 is the perfect way to let it shine. If you want to be among the first to get your T8, you can order right now from audioadvice.com. And if you have more questions that I didn't answer here, check out our detailed article at audioadvice.com or reach out to our experts or stop by one of our award-winning showrooms. We'd be happy to help you out. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss out on any of our latest content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.